We are now focusing on an issue that has impacted our community in so many ways. We are going to explore that impact, the imprint, and the healing of trauma stemming from the effects of gun violence. It is an issue in communities, not just in our community here in the Midlands, but across the nation, and has affected so many families. Here at home, some are now taking the time to address this problem in a new way, to uplift the voices of survivors. The North Columbia Youth Empowerment Initiative is soon going to host its Community Summit, Response in Action, working toward meaningful, sustainable solutions here in the Midlands. Joining us tonight, we have Columbia Program Manager for Serve and Connect, Erica Staley. Erica, glad to have you with us. Also, a woman who knows firsthand about the effects of gun violence, Lolita Frazier. Welcome back to Prime Time. And joining us virtually this evening, we have a former gang member who is now Executive Director for Urban Specialists, Antong Lucky. Antong, thank you for joining us as well. We'll be checking in with him in just a moment. For all three of you, when we talk about this issue, every single time we talk about an issue of gun violence here in our community, the question always starts with why? Why did it happen? Why did it have to happen? The impact on the families. So let me just start with your why, about why you're in this fight.
Absolutely. Two sons, Messiah and Kincaid. And so being a child of Columbia, born and raised, and having two boys, I think it is of the utmost importance that we step outside of comfort, outside of convenience, to have the time for the conversations and to listen and to sit together and work together towards change and to realize that it impacts all of us.
It does.
It's not someone else's household, it's not someone else's child, it's all of us together.
It is. Lolita, what about your why? This has affected your family personally?
Yes, absolutely. My why is definitely, I lost my only son, Jordan Lalo Stith, at age 21 years old to gun violence. I also lost my nephew, Dylan, and my niece Jocelyn, and so it's hit our family, you know, in a major way, and you know, I can't be quiet about it. Like, it's time to speak up. It's time to be a part of the change.
It is, and I thank you ladies for raising your voice. Antong, we are so excited to have you with us tonight because, listen, you know, we cover these stories in our community here in Columbia, and you're going to be coming to Columbia soon. But sometimes I feel like we're preaching to the choir, right? We're saying the same things over and over again. It takes a voice from somebody who knows what this impact is. Tell us a little bit about your story.
First of all, thank you guys for having me come to South Carolina. This is an issue that's near and dear to my heart. I echo the same sentiments as Eric and Lolita in terms of having someone, loved one, lost to the violence. But not only that, me, myself, being an honor roll student, talented, gifted student who grew up in a community that said violence was the norm, was the lay of the land, I amputated my personality as a good kid to become what the neighborhood said that I had to become. Started a gang, and then that eventually led me to prison. And so once getting in prison, I had this epiphany. I had a mentor who really poured into me, and I took some time to do some work on myself and realized that, as you stated earlier, anytime violence happens, it's two families that suffer. And so we lose on both ends. And so I've committed myself, starting back in 1998, I denounced my gang in prison, my gang affiliation, educated myself, and I've been on this crusade to rid our communities of these type of instances where you have young people who are killing each other at a rapid, alarming rate. And so my why is I want to stop that, and I think that we can when we all understand that we all have a part to play. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this issue.
Listen, we appreciate your passion, and when we talk about this issue, you know, talking with local law enforcement in the community, they point out that the kids used to fight. You know what I mean? Like, if something happened, something went down, they fight. Now they're so quick to pick up a gun and have consequences that cannot be undone, that are so detrimental in the blink of an eye. And Tom, for people who think they might know about gang culture and why kids are drawn to it, or, you know, some of the stereotypes that might have misconceptions, what would you say to parents in our community tonight?
I want them to know that a lot of times our young people who are, I say the problem is LOL, a lack of love, right, that young people have. And then I also say the solution to that problem is LOL, which is a lot of love. A lot of these young people who are growing up in families who are single family homes, who are dropping out of school at earlier rates, they don't have the necessary wherewithal to understand the impact of like gangs and all this stuff have on them. And so, and as adults, we tend to pull back because we look at them through the lenses of what we see, whether on social media, through the media. But we have to begin to train our lenses to look at young people as young people who are crying out for that love, for that affection, for that mentorship that they don't have. I believe our young people are resilient, and when we get involved and step up and get in their lives, we can redirect this energy that allows them to pull out a switch or pull out a gun with no empathy and take the life of others. We have to begin to do our part as the village, stepping into these young people, stepping into them, leaning into them with love, to direct them. When I was a young person again, I cried out for a mentor, someone who could just take my hand and say, "Let me walk you through this." But that person never showed up because I'm quite sure that person was looking at me and looking at how I was behaving and saying, "I don't have nothing to do with him. He's non-empathetic. He's a killer. He's this, that." But I was, in essence, crying out saying, "Can somebody help me and show me?" And I think that's true for our young people today. In order for us to get ahead of this trend, we have to step our efforts up in terms of speaking, connecting, and mentoring and guiding these young people. So I think we have an opportunity to do that. I think what Serve and Connect is doing this weekend is one step amongst many that they've taken to do just that.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, Anton, you have preached a whole Sunday morning sermon on a Tuesday night about love and what it's going to take to overcome this problem. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, ladies, I want to bring you back into the conversation to talk about what's happening this weekend, because it takes all of us being involved. It takes all of us being engaged. It takes all of us being committed to really address this problem and make a difference here in our community. Much more with Serve and Connect, healing from the trauma caused by gun violence here in our community, right up next on WIS Primetime.